All right, so we're in office hours, working with Nassar on applying a patch to the Drupal 7 version of Google Analytics. That supports Google Analytics of version 4, which is kind of a new version of Google Analytics. So we just saw a second ago that the Drupal 7 version of the module is almost 4 years old, or almost four years since the latest release. So Nassar is working on a Drupal 7 site that needs Google Analytics to work. So what we're going to do is we are going to try applying this patch. And I'm basically going to do it on my local and recording it so that Nassar can take a look at it later on and follow in my footsteps here. So what I have is I'm just doing this. I'm just going to do this on the Drupal, a local version of the Drupal Easy Academy site, because that is Drupal 7. So I've installed, I believe, the same version as Nassar, so 7.x-2.6. I don't need to even enable it for what I'm doing. Although maybe I will enable it in a moment. Yeah, actually, I'll enable it. That way we'll just see that it's not broken or anything. Even though I don't use Google Analytics on this site, but if we go here, we can come to System, Google Analytics, and just see that the page loads. And as Nassar was saying, it's expecting a UA value, but the new version, I believe, is GA dash and then some number.
Yes.
So what we need to do is we need to somehow apply this patch to I don't know why that's not. Oh, because it's Drupal 7, that's why. CD web / sites, all modules, contrib. They're in a different place in Drupal 7 than in Drupal 8. Oh. Google, there we go. All right, so that's the Google Analytics version 7. This is the code that we need to patch. All right, so the first step is we need to get this patch down to our local machine. So once you get the patch file in your browser like this, you can literally just save it. I'm going to save as. And I'm going to put it inside of the that directory. So web sites. And this is for Drupal 9. This is not the way to do it, by the way. So anybody watching, this is Drupal 7 knowledge only right here. All right, so I'm going to save this file. I'm going to put a .patch at the end of it inside of the Google Analytics directory for the site. So I'm going to save that. I do not want to append txt. I just want it to be .patch. So now if we come over here, now we see that I have that patch file in the same directory as the rest of the module. So that's step 1. And then step 2, it's kind of nice because most modules, their module page, the main project page, will tell you how to do it. That's for Drupal 7, that is. So under version control, you can go to version control. I think you might have to be logged in to see that option. But then down here, there's a section on patching, and we don't want to create one, but we do want to apply a patch. And that's actually the command right there. I'll make that a little bit bigger. So it's always good to do this with Git. So make sure before you do anything. So Git status basically shows that we're clean, other than this file, which I just added, the patch, and that's fine. You can just disregard this. This is just my little thing. So we're going to do a git apply -v followed by the name of the patch. So git apply -v followed by the file name of the patch. And so make sure that you're operating in the module directory, and make sure that the patch file is also in that directory. So we're going to use a git apply command And git apply knows how to apply diff files. And this is nothing more than a diff file. It begins with the word diff and just shows you the differences between two versions of the file. So git apply knows how to apply a diff file to a code base. I forget what the -v stands for. We can actually, let's check that out. Make this a complete little explanation. -v. Don't know. It might just be for verbose. Oh, it is verbose. So -v is basically just going to give you some feedback. I believe it's just the -v stands for verbose in this case. So with the colon there, just a little clue, you have to use the word Q, the letter Q to get out of that. So I'm going to type Q. We'll get out of it. Git, whoops. Git apply -v, followed by the name of the patch that we want to apply. So what this is going to do, it's going to read this file. And it's going to say, okay, the first change I have to make is in this Google Analytics.admin.inc file. So it's going to open up this file. And anywhere that there's a minus, it's going to get rid of this line. And then it's going to get rid of this line. And anywhere there's a plus, it's going to add this line. And then it's going to go down a little bit further in that file. There's a function called admin settings form. And here's a bunch of lines it's going to add. Here's a bunch of lines it's going to add. Here's some stuff it's going to get rid of. So, and it's basically, you're just going to process this entire file. And as long as it can do that cleanly, and there's no like, it doesn't get to a line where it's expecting to delete something, but that line doesn't exist. As long as there's no like weird things happening, then the entire patch file or the entire diff file will be applied. If during the processing of it, there's something that goes awry, like maybe, the apply function is trying to delete something that's not really there, then the whole thing will stop and kind of roll back to where we started. So it's kind of a low risk type of situation here. So let's see if this applies. Let's see if this patch applies. We'll hit enter. And it skipped. Why did it skip all of them? I don't have the answer to that. So why is that? That's very odd. I think if we do a -vv, we might get extra information. No. I expected it to apply, so we're going to figure out why together because I do not know the answer. We're definitely in the right place. Why did it skip those? I don't think it's a permissions issue. No, because that looks like it's fine. Did I forget to do something? I don't know. And all of it's writable by me, and I'm the owner, and I'm running the command, so that should be okay. I'm going to try just making it writable. I don't think it's going to be permissions. group plus, and I'll explain what this does in a second. So chmod is change modifiers. So that basically changes permissions. And I'm saying G plus W means add a write permission to the group. And that's basically going to add a W. So I think we talked about this in the DCO. But the first character specifies whether or not it's a directory. In this case, it's not, which it's not. The next three characters are read, write, and execute for the owner, which is me, Michael. The next three are read, write, and execute for the group, which is staff, which is just kind of the default thing when you, when you download stuff on a Mac, that is. And then these three are for the world, read, write, and execute for everybody else. So I'm actually going to do that. Did I do it? I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to do it for others or the world. So I'm basically going to just blow open permissions a bit here, and you'll see. Right, so it's this file is now writable by everybody because it has all those W's. So now if I try to apply the patch, let's see if we still get the same message, at least on that one file. Okay, so it's not permissions because it's still not working there. So I'm just going to go ahead and undo what I did. And that's easy enough. I'm just going to take away the write permissions. Oh. All right, so the only thing I can think, so we're going to try something here. So one thing I noticed is that, so there is a release made in 2019, but there's a dev version made in 2018, which is bizarre that usually the dev is ahead of the stable release, but in this case, the stable release has a later date than the dev version, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And normally patches are applied to the dev version. But when I saw this earlier, when I saw the fact that the release is later than dev, I said, oh, they must have to apply it to this. So before we try applying it to the dev, let's go ahead and, where did everything go? I want to go back into here. I want to go back to 53. I want to see if there's any hints here. New branch. So here, okay, so this person applied it to the same version. That's what I was kind of looking for. Now, all these people applied it, but why are we not able to apply it?
Well, that's weird. And
it is a bit weird. Let's do this. I'm going to cat the Google Analytics. Do we do this yet? Yeah, okay, so that's the file. So it is, like, we didn't download gibberish. Let me just look at the top of it. Yeah, I mean, that looks like that looks fine. Forget what this character means. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with it. Where am I going? Sites. Okay. sites, academy, web, sites, default. I just want to get a different look at, no, not default, all modules. This all looks as I expect. Wow, this is a good one. Why doesn't this apply? Skipped patch. Why did it skip patch? I mean, all those files are here. All right, well. Git apply. Git patch. Why? Yeah, I am doing the root directory. Yeah, so there is a patch command line tool, which we can use, and I saw that here. That reminded me. So I could try running it this way. But this is actually, it used to be the recommended way of doing it in Drupal. So let's just try that. Patch, and I forget what the -p1 does, but then you have to send it the patch. This looks like it worked now. Yeah, that worked. I don't know why the git apply -v did not work.
Nice.
I know it worked because all these files are now changed. And if we look at like git diff of Google Analytics, admin Inc., you know, that diff is going to look like, where's the diff? Where's our patch files I'm looking for? Right, so this is the patch that we applied, and this is how to get rid of max length and change this description of this, and you can see that's exactly what it did. It got rid of, so applying it here worked. I'm not sure why the git apply command didn't work in the patch. And I'll go back to this. I'll just leave this up on the screen for a moment here. I'll do it this way. It's more for the recording and more for the SARS benefit in the future. This is the command I used that worked. The
Hey,
patch.
Mike,
Yes.
I saw that you were in the folder for the module, but it looked like on the top of the patch, it had the full web path and stuff to it, or did I see the wrong lines?
No, it's relative. It's relative to the module.
Okay, maybe I was looking at a different thing on your screen.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I checked that. I'm definitely in the right place. So anyway, it's patched. So theoretically now, I mean, the module should still work. And I believe that we're going to see this text change when I reload.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it did. So we can use you know, the new formats now. So what I would probably do, Nassar, is I would, if I use Google Analytics on this site on my local, I would probably test it out a little bit. Whatever you need to do, test it. And then when you're done with that, just do a git add on all of these files. You can actually probably might just be able to get away to do that. Git add, git commit -m, and be something like applied Patch from comment 53 of, and I would just put the, nope, 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 nope. The node ID of the issue. This is how issues are normally, where you say something like Drupal.org issue that. Hit status. Right, and then push it up. And test it some more, and that, it's really, that one command that does all the work. I don't know why the git apply command didn't work, but the git patch, I'm sorry, patch dash P1 seemed to work, so.
Yes, thank you, sir.
All right,
Appreciate it. I was
okay,
distracted.
so now what I need to do is I need to delete all this stuff and not push it to, so the first thing, so I'm gonna undo what I've done. I'm gonna disable. No, I'm in Drupal 7. I have to remember that. So I'm going to disable it first. Then I'm going to uninstall it on my local because I really don't want it for the site. Then I'm going to close that down. Then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do DDEV stop. And while that's stopping, I'm literally just, I'm going to drag Google Analytics to the trash. And then I can come back here, hit status, and I'm going to do git add Google and I'm basically going to commit the change of me deleting the module.
Mhm.
Commit dash M removed Google Analytics module. Boom. And my system's back to where it started. So I'm going to stop the recording here.